Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a new cycle on Global Television coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwegwe. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nightcomsat. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has announced a review of its visa clearance procedures, a controversial requirement which mandated married women to submit an approval letter from their husbands as part of the visa application process sparked widespread debate on social media. Many have criticized the policy, describing it as outdated and discriminatory. Fuel prices at Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited service stations have surged to as high as 1,030 naira from 897 naira in the Federal Capital Territory. Samuel Odi, who went around Abuja, reports that long queues of motorists were observed, with many hoping to buy the pricey product.
Price is a second increment in 1 month from 897 naira to 1,030 naira, representing a 14.8% increase in the cost of premium motor spirits, otherwise known as petrol. With Dangote Refinery selling its products and the Crude for Naira initiative by President Bola Tinubu, Nigerians expect a lower fuel cost, but yet again, Nigerians are slammed with a hike on petroleum products. While awaiting the adjustment of fuel meters to reflect the new price, motorists express disappointment in the present administration.
If they are selling 1,030 naira at NNPC, that means other places will be 1,500.
Except the refinery is working. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing they can do except our refinery is working. So that refinery, we can do nothing.
This government is not giving us the right thing to do. The right thing. We are just here. They are just doing what they like. How can we go to a NNPC and buy fuel 1,030 naira? As I'm talking to you now, it's 1,030 naira in diameter.
With Dangote Refinery coming into existence, Nigerians expected a slash in the price, but all they get on a monthly basis is an increment of PMS. Now, the federal government says that crude will be sold for naira starting October 1st. And in that light, the NNPC have promised that there will be a change in price. Nigerians are expecting the change should be lesser than what they used to buy, but now petrol is being sold for 1,030 naira in NNPC filling station and other filling stations selling at up to 1,200 and 1,300 naira respectively. Nigerians have complained that they've been on the queue for over 4-5 hours and yet haven't been able to get into the petroleum station to be able to buy fuel despite the increment. Nigerians have called on Mr. President to come to their aid and as well as address this, given the fact that transportation is on the high, cost of food is on the high, and hunger is in the land. Samuel Odi reporting for Global Television.
Thank you, Samuel. The Nigerian military has confirmed that another notorious terrorist leader known as May Hijabi and his nations at terrorized communities in Taraba State have been eliminated on the battlefield. Director of Defense Operation, Major General Edward Buba, disclosed this at the bi-weekly media briefing with defense correspondents at the defense headquarters in Abuja. Kikelemo Okere has details.
According to the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, May Hijabi and his combatants who terrorized communities in Taraba State are now history, and same fate awaits several other terrorist leaders and commanders. It says during the week under review, troops neutralized 165 terrorists and arrested 238 persons.
Another notorious terrorist leader was eliminated on the battlefield during the week. He was known as May Hijabi. He and his combatants terrorized communities in Taraba State, and we have now made him history. The same fate awaits several other terrorist leaders and their commanders, as from this platform, sooner than later, we will be announcing that they've been taken off the battlefield.
It further reveals that in the South-South zone, troops arrested 35 perpetrators of oil thefts, denying them of stealing oil worth over 6 million naira and rescued 188 victims of kidnapping.
discovered and destroyed 58 boats involved in crude oil theft activities, 39 storage tanks, among other items that were destroyed. Also destroyed 13 cooking ovens, 13 vehicles, as well as destroyed 65 illegal refining sites in the course of the week.
General Buba affirmed that battle damage assessment reveals that several terrorists hibernating at different locations were neutralized and their logistics destroyed. The Military High Command says the service is reassessing and making necessary adjustments to ensure peace and security for all citizens across the country. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
Kike Lomo Okere there, following through with defense stories for Global Television. Thank you, Kike Lomo. Kano State High Court has sentenced 27-year-old Kasim Hussein to 15 years in prison for killing a Kano Road Traffic Agency officer, Tijani Adamu Gambo, who was attempting to remove his vehicle's license plate. The court also imposed a fine of 500,000 naira with an additional 5-year jail term if Hussein fails to pay the fine. Presiding Judge Justice Miriam Sambo ruled that the sentences will run concurrently and commence from the date of Hussein's arrest. According to the prosecution, represented by Barrister Mahdi Aliu Abdurrahman from the Kano State Ministry of Justice, Hussein committed culpable homicide on October 29, 2021 around 10 a.m. on Airport Road opposite El Dorado Cinema in Nasarawa local government area of the state. The House of Representatives has rejected a motion on urgent public importance seeking the intervention of the federal government in the chieftaincy tussle rocking Okbela community in Esako East local government area of Edo State. The motion was moved by a member representing Esako East, Esako West federal constituency of the state, Dekeri Anamero. Addressing the House during plenary session, Anamero lamented the loss of lives in Okbela owing to the violent reaction to the crowning of Lukman Akemokoe as the Okokbelagbe of Okbela by Governor Godwin Obaseki about 2 weeks ago. The Senate has confirmed Professor Abdullahi Usman as the Executive Chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, nominated by President Bola Tinubu. The confirmation of Usman's nomination followed the consideration and adoption of the report of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, chaired by Senator Abubakar Bello. Tinubu had nominated Usman for the position on August 19, 2024, through a statement by his former Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale. Kebbi Development Forum, KDF, has condemned the murder of Alhaji Isa Daya, the district head of Kanya in Danko Wasago local government area of Kebbi State. The forum, in a statement by its public affairs officer Abubakar Abdullahi, also condoled with the family of the deceased district head, Governor of Kebbi Nasiru Idris, and Emir of Zuru Alhaji Sani Sami, and prayed God grants the deceased eternal rest. The forum also pledged to cooperate with the government and security agencies in their efforts to secure citizens across the states. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, has embarked on an advocacy visit to innovators and inventors in Kaduna as part of efforts to promote innovation, strengthen research collaboration, and advance technology developments in the region. Chairman, TED Fund National Research Fund Screening and Monitoring Committee, Professor Hayward Mufiat, says the advocacy visits is a key initiative in the lead-up to the upcoming National Research Fair and Exhibition. Jumai Manson was there for Global Television.
The chairman, TED Fund National Research Fund Screening and Monitoring Committee, Professor Hayward Babale Mafuyat, emphasized the need to enhance cooperation between academia and industry to foster an innovative culture that would drive Nigeria's technological progress. He noted that Kaduna is home to several talented inventors whose contributions could significantly impact the nation's economy and global standing.
Most people have operated as silos, as individuals, not knowing what to do or where to do and how to synergize with who. But when we bring them together, the person who has an invention that can grow the economy needs to know what next steps to do.
Deputy Chairman, Old Panteka Market Development Association, Kaduna State, Abubakar Musa, highlighted the impact of TET Fund on financing projects, mostly building and materials, to empower the youths in Panteka Market.
We have 38,000 registered members, which mostly are within the volatile age of 25, 30 downward, and they needed the attention of the government, and of course the union is doing its very best to see that those youth are oriented positively, thereby eradicating poverty.
Chairman of the TET Fund National Research Fair Committee, Umar Bindir, highlighted the benefits of technological innovation and the role of research in solving real-world problems. He urged more young youths to engage in research and development for sustainable growth.
This effort is a trigger. It's what I call the catalyst for changing the way we do things. If you've done research on how to properly slice okra so that it is easy to dry and package, then somebody should be drying it using that technique and packaging it. Once he's packaging it, he should be able to sell it. So that is how you link that knowledge to creation of jobs, to creation of wealth, and to showcasing that Nigeria is a very powerful technology institution.
The visit also provided an opportunity for stakeholders to deliberate on the importance of research funding and how platforms like TET Fund can help bridge the gap between research and marketable technology solutions.
In a dynamic landscape of innovations and inventions, TET Fund has brought together a diverse group of stakeholders, from academics to representatives from both formal and informal institutions. Now, this collaboration aims to showcase a wide array of innovations across various sectors. For Global Television, Jumai Manson reports.
Jemima Marson reporting for Global Television there from Kaduna State. Thank you, Jumai. You're watching News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When News Cycle returns, Nigeria announces availability of 220 acreages of oil for exploration. Details of these and more for you after this short break. Do stay with us. This is Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of News Cycle with Uyi Agmofwebe. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us. Let's turn to business now. The Naira has weakened against the US dollar on October 9, 2024, closing at 1,625 Naira 13 kobo in the official investor and exporter window, as crude oil futures slipped slightly to around $76 per barrel. This recent movement represents a shift in Nigeria's foreign exchange dynamics, with the Naira declining by 4.06% compared to the previous trading day's closing rates of 1,561 Naira. Market turnover in the INE window dropped significantly, falling by 49% to $170.60 million from the $253.68 million recorded the day before. As prices of petroleum products skyrocket in Nigeria, with its attendant economic implications, an oil and gas sector expert, Dr. Timothy Okon, spoke exclusively to Global Television's Sharon Ajay on some of the factors driving the market.
Dr. Okon, who is the managing partner at Tenno Energy Resources Limited, attributed the hike in the price of premium motor spirit, also called petrol, to wars in Ukraine and the Middle East.
In the Middle East, is a very important oil-producing region. So the markets feel that something may happen, and so oil prices increase to reflect that risk, the risk that the missile might hit a tanker in the Persian Gulf, and and so on and so forth.
On the home front, however, he said the Dangote refinery is a game change that must be allowed to thrive against all odds. While addressing the complaints of Nigerians regarding the recently launched Dangote refinery, Dr. Timothy Okon emphasized the need to remember that the Dangote refinery is a private initiative that needs time to thrive.
Prices. Let me also say that it is important to understand that Dangote refinery is a private refinery. It is, and he has taken how many years to bring that on. It's a refinery that is owned by a Nigerian. It's one of the largest in the world, and we expect that that refinery, which is a success story, remains a success story because it gives Nigeria access to significant oil products, refined products.
Dr. Timothy Okon urged all Nigerians to be patient and hopeful for stability in the international market and the end of crisis in the different regions of the world. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Sharon Ajay there, following the developments around oil prices, the impact it has on petrol price back at home. The federal government has announced the commencement of zero value-added tax (VAT) on pharmaceutical products and medical devices in a bid to reduce drug prices in the country. In a statement signed by Head of Information in the Federal Ministry of Health, Alaba Balogun, it says that executive order on harmonized implementation framework has been cleared to be gazetted. Furthermore, the ministry noted that following the completion of the process, the Federal Inland Revenue Service and Nigeria Customs Service can now begin implementing zero VAT and excise duties on pharmaceutical products and medical devices. Still talking business, the federal government, through the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, has announced the availability of 220 open acreages that are ready for exploration and investment opportunities in the oil and gas sector. Acreages mean specific tracts of land available for exploration, drilling, or production activities. They can be leased or sold to companies to extract natural resources. Chief Executive of the Commission, Gbenga Komolafe, disclosed this during his presentation at the Africa Oil Week in Cape Town, South Africa. The government also reiterated that it currently has 31 oil blocks available for investment, inviting interested investors to explore opportunities in these blocks and contribute to the growth and development of the country's oil and gas sector. Let's go foreign now. Hurricane Milton has felled trees, tore roofs of buildings, and flooded streets, leaving residents of the Florida coast surveying a trail of destruction in a state still reeling from another massive storm 2 weeks earlier. Hurricane Helene, which formed in late September 2024, quickly intensified as it moved across the Gulf of Mexico. It killed over 200, becoming a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 140 meters per hour before making landfall on September 27 near Perry, Florida. In the meantime, over 3 million Florida homes and businesses were without power after the weather front made landfall as a Category 3 storm near Siesta Key on the U.S. state's western coast. Author Han Kang has become the first South Korean to win the Nobel Prize in Literature for work characterized by the correspondence between mental and physical torment as well as historical events. Han is best known for her book, The Vegetarian, her first novel translated into English, which won the Man Booker Prize in 2016. The Swedish Academy says Kang was honored with a Nobel for her intense poetic prose that confronts historical traumas and exposes the fragility of human life. The Palestinian government has called for a formation of an international investigation committee by the United Nations to investigate and come out with a final report on those to hold accountable on war crimes committed before, during, and after October 7 attack. The Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria, Abdullah Abu Shawash, made this call during a press briefing in the nation's capital, Abuja. Global Television's correspondent Anthony Momodu tells us more.
October 7th has been described by Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria, Abdullah Abu Shawesh, as the Trojan horse that legitimized and justified the televised carnage, thus the need for an international investigation committee to identify the culprits of war crimes.
An international investigation committee must be formed by the United Nations to investigate and come out with a final report and hold accountable all those who committed war crime before, on, and after October 7.
He vowed that the final report from the United Nations International Investigative Committee will be accepted by the Palestinian Authority. He also challenged Israel and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to show proof of the alleged beheading of babies as claimed by Israel.
In a yearly base, they are denying our right to self-determination. This is the exact right that you in Africa, you in Nigeria here, gain your freedom 60 or 70 or in some places 50 years ago.
The ambassador decried the abuse of veto power of the United States, thus preventing the end of the carnage in Gaza and the Middle East amid efforts to end the war.
When it came to the Security Council, you all know that there is a big hammer there called the veto, used by America, United States of America, at the very last years for 6 times to block any motion, to block any move to put an end to this carnage.
As the Palestinian government calls for an international investigation committee to be formed by the United Nations to get those responsible for war crimes before, during, and after October 7 attack, it is hoped that justice will prevail. Anthony Momodu reporting for Global Television.
Well, thank you, Anthony Momodu. Let's talk sports now. Manchester United's summer signee, Nossir Mazraoui, is set to miss the next 2 months due to a diagnosis of cardiac arrhythmia. The setback comes as the club grapples with their worst ever start to a Premier League season, having secured just 8 points from their opening 7 matches. Italian journalist Nicola Schira reported that Mazraoui, a £17 million acquisition, has been diagnosed with the condition which affects the regularity of heartbeats. Cardiac arrhythmia can cause the heart to beat too fast, too slow, or in an irregular pattern, but with proper diagnosis, many people can manage the condition and lead normal lives. That's according to the NHS. And that's a full circle on the news here, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, on Global Television. A quick reminder that we are on DSTV 365, Star Times 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. Don't forget to use Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen to follow us across all social media platforms. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe. Thanking you so very much for watching. Coming up at top of the hour is Big Talk with Ed Deacon. Michael, have a great time watching.